Modern Minecraft updates simply aren't good enough. Every update just plays it safe now and doesn't even attempt to try anything too risky, even if those risks are well agreed upon issues with the game. Minecraft is stuck in the classic trap of trying to make everyone happy, and it's causing the game to just get worse with time. What can Mojang do to get out of this though? Well, before I explain that, let me give you a brief explanation of how they even got to this position, as I think it'll better illustrate how they can get out of it. April 14th, 2021. That was the day that everything went downhill. On this day, Mojang announced that they would be splitting the highly anticipated Caves and Cliffs update into two parts. Part 1 would contain all the blocks and mobs shoehorned in the current world gen, and Part 2 would contain the new world gen itself. The split happened for a multitude of reasons, some good and some more questionable, but nonetheless, I will defend their choice to keep working on the update to make it feel right. What I won't defend though is the action of splitting the update itself. I never have and probably never will understand why they thought that splitting the update was the best course of action here, because as we've seen for the last 5 years now, the effects of this one decision are still being felt and influencing modern day updates. I guess everything looks bad in hindsight, but regardless, at the center of this decision was Mojang's goodwill. They simply wanted to get out an update for the community, and I respect that. It probably took a decent amount of convincing to get Microsoft to even let them do that, so again, I respect their care for us and desire to make us happy. Not all things done in goodwill though end up working out 100% of the time, and the last 5 years of Minecraft updates have been a prime example of that. You see, Mojang took the complete wrong message from the split. As is natural for a large community like Minecraft's, a good chunk were upset with the split and especially the lack of the Warden, one of the coolest features from the update. As a result, Mojang thought they had a problem with over-promising and under-delivering. The next update, the Wild update, brought the Warden and Deep Dark back, finally making Caves and Cliffs feel complete. It also brought the new Mangrove Swamp biome and the Frog, a loser of a previous year's mob vote. This sounds pretty good in theory, but unfortunately though, it seems like they had willed their false conception of themselves into reality, as at Minecon that year, they showed concept art of an improved birch forest biome at Minecon that they actually had no intention of adding. Like I said before, they willed over-promising and under-delivering into existence. When they said that the birch forest update wasn't coming, people were rightfully confused. Why would you show off concept art of something that isn't coming to the game in the same section of Minecon where you're showing off features that are coming to the game? The removal of fireflies were also just salt on that wound, making Mojang's case all the worse. In the end, when the Wild update was released, it was literally just all of the features shown at Minecon, unlike previous years where the Minecon preview was just that, a preview. The update would usually be expanded upon during its development time, but this didn't happen with the Wild update, causing people to dub it the Mild update, especially since to a lot of people, it seemed like they actually removed the updated birch forest from the update. Mojang had dug themselves into a hole, and they didn't know what to do next, so they decided to scale back the sizes of their updates and be very direct and cautious with what they showed off at Minecon, choosing to only show features that were pretty much already complete and not even giving the update a theme anymore, making it impossible to overpromise. Other than the features shown off at Minecon that year, this update only got a few new things: the Sniffer, the winner of that year's mob vote, the Cherry Forest biome, and a very lame and watered down version of archaeology that was supposed to come in the Caves and Cliffs update. This update was just kinda boring. The Sniffer was a very overhyped mob that almost everyone agrees nowadays is useless and the definition of everything wrong with mob votes. Nothing here really had that wow factor or moved the needle quite like the last 4 or 5 updates had. The Nether update changed the entire Nether, the Cave update changed the entire world gen, the Wild update added the Ancient City, which was the biggest structure ever added to Minecraft and was also very mysterious. But this update, it adds camels and trees, I guess? Oh, and don't forget the torch flower that doesn't emit light or do anything cool at all for the effort you have to go through to get it. This update was just very boring, and I understand that not every update can be game-changing and have that wow factor, but this was just such a letdown after everything we'd already gone through. Archaeology confused me especially, as it was a husk of what it once was and could have been. Deadass, it rewards you for spending all of that time digging through trail ruins with a single purple candle and a wooden hoe. Seriously, how is this loot? Mojang knew they had to make a good update and win back the community to get back on track, and so the next year they made the Tricky Trials update, which honestly was a good return to form for them. This update was good. The trial chambers are good and well designed. They added a new weapon for the first time since the crossbow in 2019 with the mace, which was strong and deserved to be considering how much time it takes to get. Mojang was back, and it seemed like the future of Minecraft updates was gonna be a bright one. And then on September 8th, 2024, they destroyed it all. Mojang announced that they were done with yearly major updates and opted to release 4 small content drops per year. And in their very first drop, they didn't generate a lot of confidence that this system was gonna be better, as they added one single item, the bundle, a feature that was supposed to be in the game over 3 years earlier but was held back due to mobile user difficulty. This was not a great start, but thankfully their next drop was better, adding the Pale Garden. I'm just gonna rattle off the rest of the drops here because there's not much to explain. After the Pale Garden came mob skins and flowers, then happy ghasts, then cover tools and shit, then spears and the Nautilus, and finally, where we are today, baby mob reworks. And if you're wondering, no, the sulfur drop isn't out at the time of me recording this, so I'm not counting it. I'm sorry for that big ol' history dump there, and I realize now that that was anything but brief, but that's pretty much the history of the downward trend in updates. But now we must ask an important question. Is Mojang out of that hole they dug themselves into? Have they made the community regain faith in them and a large chunk of the community happy? Well, unfortunately, I'd say no, they haven't. They are still in that trap of trying to make everyone happy. A lot of these recent updates feel like they're desperately throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's honestly not a very great development model for a 17-year-old game if that's what they're doing now. Speaking of Minecraft being a 17-year-old game, I can't understand how Mojang is still struggling to find Minecraft's identity after all this time. There's a very clear clash of direction here between a sandbox game and a combat-oriented RPG game that drops aren't really solving. And so that's my first suggestion as to how Mojang can get out of this trap. Mojang, I say this as a player of 14 and a half years now, please take a long look in the mirror and figure out what you want Minecraft to be. I know it's kind of ironic that I'm saying this as a creator and a member of the community, but I think it could genuinely be beneficial for Mojang to stop caring so much about what we, the community, want. A lot of the updates now feel like Mojang just saying, okay guys, we have a rough idea here, please tell us what you want and we'll turn it into that, please don't yell at us. And to be clear, I don't have a problem with working with the community and generally taking suggestions from them. I think that's great, but a lot of the time with previous updates, Mojang would come up with the idea and flesh it out themselves. The community would come in for small things or changes to those fleshed out features that we gave them feedback on in the snapshots. And maybe it's just a coincidence, but I feel like that was when Minecraft updates were at their best. Actually, we saw this with the trial chambers just a couple years ago. Mojang came up with the trial chambers all on their own. They designed the structure, the loot, the flow, the everything, and it turned out to be a really solid update. In short, when Mojang controls updates with lesser community influence, the updates actually tend to be better. Something I've noticed about a lot of these drops though is that looking back, there's not really a lot of them that have staple features. You know, like that big thing that you remember the update for. A few of them do have this, like for the upcoming Sulfur Cube drop that has the Sulfur Cube, and the Happy Gas drop had the Happy Gas. For things like the Spring to Life drop though, I can't tell what's supposed to be the feature. And that's just the thing. I can't even give it a different name because there's nothing that you can look at from this drop and say, yeah, I remember it for specifically that. Is it the mob reskins? Is it the flowers? Is it the leaf litter? Is it the firefly bushes? I don't know. I genuinely forgot the name of this drop for a solid bit while writing this video because nothing from this drop is memorable enough to warrant me remembering its name. So that's my next suggestion for future drops. Add at least one thing that's worth even getting just a little bit excited over. The baby mobs drop was a prime example of what not to do. I cannot see one thing in that update that would make someone say, yeah, I want to play Minecraft now. They were trying to market it like there was though, which was very confusing to me and just kind of sad, honestly. Thankfully, the sulfur drop is already doing this wonderfully with the sulfur cube, so I'd like to see them keep that up. And my last suggestion for now, as this video has gone on for long enough already, is to please give drops their time to shine. This is an issue with drops where it seems like an update will be released and then it's instantly on to the next drop. There's no time to let the new features sizzle and simmer, no time for them to become memorable. It's just straight on to the next thing, which floods social media and completely drowns out this thing that they just spent like 3 months on. That's one of the reasons I've said in the past to do something big again. It'll not only revive interest in the game, but also let the previous drop shine since there won't be another one ready to go instantly. For example, at that latest Minecon that they showed off at TwitchCon last month, they showed new features for the fall drop before the sulfur drop even had a release date. Why? I don't understand why they did that. Like, my god, guys, chill out. The community's heads are not gonna explode if they don't have some 25-year-old yelling at them on YouTube about the new fucking Chrome zombie or some shit. Sorry, I'm just very passionate about this game. Anyways, Minecraft updates recently have just been kinda lame. I think the sulfur drop is gonna be pretty good. In fact, I made a whole video about it if you want to hear my thoughts on that. But I think think Mojang really needs to lock in here and show us what they're truly capable of again, because that's one of my biggest issues. We know what Mojang's capable of. We've seen it time and time again in the past, and yet it seems like they constantly underdeliver. Again, they willed that false conception about themselves into reality. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, okay?